So our next section is order of operations. When we do order of operations, we're going to be solving expressions or equations, and we have to make sure that we follow the correct order so we get the correct answer. So the order goes parentheses first, so parentheses, and that includes any type of bracket or anything that's inside of grouping. E is exponents, which also stands for simplifying powers, so that's like if you had something squared. Then you multiply and divide from left to right. And then add and subtract from left to right. And what we use to remember this, we use something called PEMDAS, so that will help us remember the order. So parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. So our first example is 7 plus 10 times 5 plus 10. So I'm going to write PEMDAS on the side here so I remember my order, because you have to do, again, follow the order. So I have multiplication and addition in here. So multiplication comes first in PEMDAS, so I'm going to do the multiplication first. So I'm going to do the 10 times 5, and that gives me 50. And then I'm going to bring everything else down that's in the problem. Now I'm going to do addition. Well, when we do addition and subtraction, we go from left to right. So I'm going to just start with the 7 plus 50. That gives me 57. And then plus 10, and 57 plus 10 would leave you with 67 at the end. Our next example is 6 plus 25 minus 7 divided by 6. So again, we're going to do PEMDAS. So I'm first looking to see if I have any parentheses or exponents, and here I do. I have a set of parentheses. So that means I have to do what is inside the parentheses first, but you also have to follow the order of operations inside the parentheses. So I'm going to do addition and subtraction, but going from left to right. So if I start at the left, I'm going to start with 6. So I'm going to do 6 plus 25. That gives me 31. And then I still have the minus 7 divided by 6, and I'm just going to bring it down. Now, I didn't get rid of the parentheses because I still have to do the 31 minus 7 first. So I'm going to do 31 minus 7. That gives me 24. Now that I've done everything in the parentheses, I can drop the parentheses, and so now I'm just left with 24 divided by 6, which gives you 4. Next, we have 8 minus 1 minus parentheses 18 minus 2 divided by 8. So again, I'm going to do PEMDAS on the side here. And I have parentheses, so I'm going to start with that. I'm going to do 18 minus 2 is 16. Since that's all that was in the parentheses, I can drop the parentheses, and I'm going to rewrite everything else with the symbols in front so you don't change the symbols ever. And now, I've got subtraction and division left. Well, if I look at PEMDAS, division comes before subtraction, so I'm going to do the division first. So 16 divided by 2, or divided by 8 is 2. And again, carry down the symbols and the numbers. Then to simplify this, you're going to do 8 minus 1 is 7, minus 2 leaves you with 5. Now this one here, we get a little bit more complicated. So what we're going to do here is you have two choices when you have exponents. You can do 6 times 6 times 6 and leave that on top, and then do 3 times 3 times 3. So you could do it, let's say you had 2 thirds squared. So this could be rewritten as 2 times 2 is 4, and 3 times 3 is 9. So you could rewrite it as 4 nines, or in this case, 6 divides by 3. So 6 divided by 3, if I simplify that down, that would be 2 cubed, and I'm going to rewrite everything else. 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2, which that ends up giving me 8. And I'm going to bring down the plus 5 minus 3 squared. And again, I got to do exponents. 3 squared here is 9, so I'm going to do 8 plus 5 minus 9. Add and subtract left to right. 8 plus 5 is 13. Minus 9 gives me 4. And then the last example here, we're going to do order of operations. So we're going to do parentheses first. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And this is in brackets with my plus 1. Because then I'm going to square everything. So then 5 plus 1 is 6 squared, which gives you 36 at the end. And then our last example, we're going to evaluate. We have x equals 3 and y equals 1. So I'm going to plug those in first, then I'm going to solve. So 3, this says 3 times x plus y minus 2. So 3 times x is 3, plus y is 1, and then minus 2. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 minus 2. 9 plus 1 is 10, minus 2 is 8, and their final answer. So this one's a little trickier because you got to plug the numbers in first, then evaluate.